Euro 2024 Group E, Belgium 0, Slovakia 1, and we have the first major upset of the tournament coming from the Eastern Europeans, delivering the number 3 ranked in the world Belgium a defeat. My oh my. Well, where to start? So, even more so than the defense, I found Belgium's midfield to be rather suspect. There was a gap between Belgium's back four and their front three to such a large extent that you could notice there was zero transition from the defense to the attack. A lot of empty space was left in the middle, and it was pretty readily simple for Slovakia to carve up early on. Kevin De Bruyne was basically on an island of his own. He was hardly influencing the game on defense. Doku and Trossard, they were playing way too wide and also making the transition ineffective from the defense to the attack. Just very clunky, and like I said, there was no path to a swift transition. And it's sad to say this, but lately, watching Doku and Kevin De Bruyne for City versus watching them for Belgium is almost like a night and day difference. Without the right system, they tend to struggle to convert possession into chances. They still had some decent looks and were unlucky with the second disallowed goal. But still, the distinction is pretty stark between club and country. I mean, point and simple, Trossard was just garbage today. I think that Doku was mostly doing poorly on chances that he created himself. And like I said, De Bruyne, uncharacteristically sort of invisible in this game. You can include a bit of bad luck in this as well. I mean, Belgium had 2 goals disallowed in the second half. The first was through an offside Lukaku, and the second, Lukaku scoring late on the 85th, 86th minute, but that was overturned due to there having been a handball violation in the box through Openda. Both decisions were correct. This is why we need VAR. A bright spot for Belgium was Openda. I think he looked really good once he came on, and I do wonder if there's an opportunity for him to start in the next match. I think he really ought to be given that second look by Tedesco here. And based on this match, I think I would start Openda over Trossard for sure. Doku played better on the right, but I think that he will have a bigger impact if he could come off the bench. And I think that Belgium desperately needs to readdress the back line and build-up tactics if they want to progress far past the group stage at this point. I don't know if Fayez was told to build up the way he did, but it clearly is not a match with his skill set. And that's going to be worrisome coming up against a Romanian midfield, for example, that will come out with the same desire and technique against this Belgium double pivot. That it's going to be really interesting because now Belgium has been punched in the face. This group is no runaway. On paper, you'd think of all the powerhouses, they have one of the easier groups, but a lot of the sides in this group so far, Romania, Slovakia, are playing fearless, and Romania is going to have to regroup, or Belgium is going to have to regroup, or they're going to be facing potentially an early exit, much as they did in Qatar 2022. Now, of course, Slovakia may have had a little bit of luck on their side, but they were brave. They had fantastic movement on the ball. They were solid all around, and the key to achieve that was Lobotka. I think that he was definitely the man of the match in this game. What a massive performance by him. He was everywhere on the pitch, and he started so many attacks on his own, and he contributed to a real fluidity for Slovakia when they were moving forward. And I think that he also played a dual role effectively in absorbing Belgium's pressure. And I think Slovakia really capitalized on the fact that Belgium in this game really looked like they had no midfield. There was no one really centrally to receive the ball and distribute for Belgium. Belgium did continue to look dangerous on the flanks, but they lacked that last touch. And Slovakia, they were very well organized. The tactics were on point from the manager. The defense did not fold to pressure, and they did not make too many mistakes at the back when they were put under pressure by Belgium, save for the occasional wayward pass from Dubravka. I think Dubravka is still somewhat suspect of a player for Slovakia. He could be the weak link, but I think that Slovakia very much so deserved this win. From the opening whistle, they came out and they sought to strike early, and they did, and it was a good goal by Ivan Schranz following an attack off a rebound. And let's see what they can do, because if they can beat Belgium in this group, I think that of the remaining three sides, Slovakia, Romania, of Ukraine, they're in contention to not just come through this group, but finish in a very strong position, maybe set themselves up against a decent round of 16 opponent. We'll see. But just like the last European Championship, Slovakia opens with a win. But now it's incumbent on them to build on this, because the group is not over. They beat Poland 3 years ago in 2020, but then they lost their last two matches. They have to keep the momentum going and the confidence gained from this. Stay compact, stay organized, utilize the flanks well, and I think they'll be set in this group.